Others, I'm going to be showing the demo for output to web for CCTE photography and imaging 1.2. So I'm going to go into Bridge, and for this project you want to use photos that are full resolution straight from the camera, and this will work much better for you. If you use small photos like screenshots from your phone or from the web, they're not going to be enough resolution to crop into a photo, size it down to 1500 pixels, and then convert it out to sRGB for the web color space. So easy way to check is if you open up Bridge, just click on metadata and then look at the dimensions over here and you'll see the size of the photo. So these are straight from my camera, so they're over 5,000 pixels, plenty big. The original size on iPhone shots are like 4,600 pixels, so plenty big for those. Screenshots are much smaller, so don't use screenshots, and I wouldn't recommend saving photos from the web unless they're at least over 3,000 pixels, so you have enough room to crop into and size it down to 1,500 pixels. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select 15 photos. You can do that by pressing Command and individually selecting, or you can click on one and then click on the last one and you hold Shift in between, and then I'll select those in a row. So what I'm going to do is right click on that or control click and choose the copy to, and I'm just going to choose a new folder. So I want to create a new folder to save those into. So I'm just going to create a new folder. I'm going to save this to my desktop. So I'm just creating a new folder on my desktop called crop and size. Actually, let's do output to web. There we go. Hit create. So there's my new folder. So I'm just going to choose open. So then if I go back to my desktop and Bridge, I'll have a output to web folder, and then it just copied all over those photos into that folder. So for this one, I'm going to edit this photo, but at first I need to make copies of all my photos. So I'm going to right click, or sorry, I can either select all of them by clicking and dragging, or I can just press Command A and I'll select all. And then I'm just going to right click on one of the photos or control click and choose duplicate. Alright, so I made copies of all my photos. So this one I have an original and a copied version. So on the copied version, if you want to adjust your photos in Camera Raw, you can. You could right click or control click and then do your adjustments. This one I'm just going to line it up. You don't need to edit your photos, that is up to you, but you can adjust them as needed. You can open them straight into Photoshop as well. Otherwise, just click open and it'll open into Photoshop. Alright, so in Photoshop, what we want to do is use our crop tool. So in the upper left hand corner, it's about the fifth from the top. If you click it and drag it over your photo, you'll see the little grid. If you want to change the grid, you have different options. Again, each tool option you'll see at the top of the screen. When you click on a tool, you can see different views. I prefer the rule of thirds grid. If you want to do specific ratios, like a square crop, 4:5 for Instagram, 16:9 for a wide kind of video crop. They do have specific crops and specific ratios if you want to. I'm just going to clear that and drag this back to its original shape. There we go. If you want to keep the same proportions, just hold Shift and drag from the corner and it'll keep it together. If you let go of Shift, it'll be a free crop. So for this photo, I could, make it so my subject is on the right third and the sun is on the left third. I could also make this, where he's centered in the frame. Like center the subject, like so. I'm just going to hit cancel and go back and undo. Oops, sorry, cancel. And so what I want to do is actually straighten this because I have a little crooked horizon. So I'm going to click on my crop tool, click on the straighten is my little level. I'm just going to drag it across my horizon. There we go. And double click or hit the check, and I'll crop and rotate it so now I have a straight horizon. Then I'm just going to drag the crop over my photo, and then let's try doing that center crop. So I'm just going to go kind of center him up. I'm actually going to crop out the sun, and then there we go. Looks pretty good. There we go. Pretty centered subject. So once I'm happy, I can hit the check or double click on it and I'll crop my photo. So then once I'm happy with my crop, I just need to size it down. So I'm just going to go to Image, into Image Size. So whatever is the biggest number in your width and height proportion, that's the one you want to change to 1500. If I do the wrong side, like the lower number here to 1500, because it links it, it's going to change the opposite width and height together. So you shouldn't see a number in these two boxes bigger than 1500. So that means I sized the wrong size. So I'm just going to change the width to 1500. And so then I have one at 1500, one at 1439. So nothing's bigger than 1300 in my width and height boxes. So that looks good for my sizing. I'm going to hit OK. Then I just need to go to Edit and down to Convert to Profile. So in Convert to Profile, you might need to change the destination space. So if you click on the destination space profile, make sure it says sRGB, IEC 61966-2.1. That is the web's colors profile. So we want to make sure a photo matches the same colors as web. And so that is our destination color space. And then hit OK. So all I did was open my photo into Photoshop. I straightened my horizon, I cropped it the way I wanted to enhance the composition. I sized it down to 1500 pixels, and then I converted the colors to the web color space of sRGB. So all I need to do now is just save it out and make sure it's a JPEG. It's going in the right folder. Make sure the format here says JPEG, and then hit save. I'm just going to replace it because it's already a copy. I would recommend bringing your quality down to 10 just to reduce the file size a little bit. At 12 it's a little bit bigger, so at 10 it saves you a little memory. And then hit OK. So then if I close my window, press Command W, and go back to Bridge, what you're going to show me is the before and after, right? So I can see how you cropped your photo in the film strip view. And then I'm going to click on your metadata, and then what I'm going to look at is a couple things. I'm going to check your dimensions. I'm going to make sure there's not a number here over 1500, and then I'm going to look at the color profile where it says sRGB and the color profile here. So you shouldn't see Adobe RGB 1998 as a different color profile. It should say sRGB. So these are kind of the two things I'm looking at. And so if you want a shortcut, if you stayed on to this video, I will show you that. So what you need to do, if you want to do this after you've cropped your photos, so if you just go in and crop your photos. So maybe I'll straighten this horizon. There is a shortcut. And so let's maybe give this like a minimal horizon and just kind of center these guys up a bit. There we go. So I'm just going to save this photo real quick and go back to Bridge. So there's my before and after. And then if I go into Tools, Photoshop Image Processor, I can choose these options here so I can have it save in the same location. I can change the quality to 10. I can convert it to sRGB. And I can choose the resize to fit option to 1500 in my width and my height. And so what it'll do, it'll run this processor on my photo. It's going to create a folder in my folder called JPEG. And then it saved that photo and run the process of converting it to sRGB and sizing it down to 1500 pixels. So if I look at the metadata, it is 1500 by 912 and it is sRGB. So if you want to run the processor, just crop your photos first. You can, select multiple photos and run that processor on it with the same settings. I'm just going to hit run again. So JPEG 10, sRGB 1500, 1500, hit run. And then you will see, if I go back to my folder here, it's just going to save it into that JPEG folder. But all of these photos are sized to 1500 and are sRGB. So just a quick little shortcut if you paid attention. All right, take care, guys.